What's up, guys? Welcome back to the final day of our week of Nintendo Switch grips. So during the week we looked at 5 different grips from 5 different companies, and now that I've spent some time with each and every one of you, I'm ready to give you my final thoughts and review of all of these. So let's get into it. What's up, guys? So on Monday we looked at the Skull & Co. Comfort Grip, and unlike any other grip that we looked at during the week, this one had the covers for the LR triggers and regular LR buttons. And this grip wins big when it comes to being customizable. Out of any other grip we looked at, this is by far the most customizable, from the sheer number of colors available to the fact that there is a custom bag perfectly designed for this. This wins big as the most customizable, and if that's something you are interested in, then this is the case I would recommend to you. However, I did have some issues with this case when I was trying it out. For instance, I was having really poor connection with my the R trigger. No, not even the trigger, the R bumper. Every time I put my Switch into it. I don't know if it's because I have custom shells on my Switch, because these aren't skins. The Joy-Cons are actually white. But R never seemed to make proper contact. I had to fiddle with it over and over every time I took it on or off. I didn't have this problem when I used my gray Joy-Cons. If I used one of my regular Joy-Cons, I didn't seem to have this problem, but I can't really seem to find a difference between the custom shell and the traditional shell, but for some reason there obviously was an issue. So if you do have custom Joy-Con shells on your Switch, this may be an issue for you as well. So all in all, it is a very good case. The only other issue that I had with this was I wish that there was a cutout for the kickstand so that I could set it down on the table when I felt the need to. I don't know if it's just me, but I actually really like using the kickstand on my Switch, and the fact that this blocks it and doesn't give any other way to stand up your Switch was an issue for me, but that might not be an issue for anybody else. But just saying, just in case. So if you're looking for customizable, this is the one for you. Alright, now Tuesday we looked at this, which was the AZ Geek Comfort Grip. Now, spending some time with this, it's more comfortable than I thought it was. I do still wish that these nubs were a little softer. I think if this whole piece had been soft rubber, this really would have been a winner for me. What this does win big on is the fact that this has by far the best kickstand out of anything else up here. When you open this thing is not going anywhere. As for the rest of the case, it is a soft rubbery plastic, and honestly I think this provides the second most protection out of any of the cases we're going to look at today. This strap, I'm not really sure why it's here. I know it's designed for holding onto the Switch, but if I'm going any kind of long distance where I'm not just playing this, I put it in a bag. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe it's meant for if you're carrying it around the house, but I mean, I normally just play in the bedroom, or if I'm going out somewhere, I put it in the bag. So I don't really see the sense of this. I mean, it's nice to have the option. I always want more options, so it's good for that. But for me, this is something I would literally take off and never use. This does have the added benefit of being able to remove the Joy-Cons while the Switch is in here. It does have a nice little extra cutout just so you can take them in and out, and with the that amazing kickstand, it's easy to play in tabletop mode. So those are my thoughts for the AZ Geek. Overall, nice. Not as comfortable as I wish it was, but does fairly good as a kickstand, or not as a kickstand, as a grip. Kickstand is great, absolutely fantastic. And the second most protective case, I think, that we're looking at today. Okay, and now we're up to Wednesday. We looked at the Rocket Tech Comfort Grip. Now, I have mixed feelings about this. First of all, I'll say this definitely is the best value out of anything else we looked at this week. Just because it comes with tempered glass, which by itself could run you around 10 to 12 bucks, easy. And since it comes with this for free, value of this goes up. But not only that, it came with very usable thumb grips that just snap right on and off, easy to apply, and I found that the small ones to be very good. It also boasts the greatest number of games being held out of any grip we're looking at, as it holds 8 different games and is supposed to be dockable. Now the negatives. I think this is the probably, if not the least, the second to least protective case that we're looking at. As far as comfort, these smooth nubs on the back are very comfortable actually, and the ends are a different type of plastic. They're actually very soft. Now if your Switch does fall while in this case, if it falls on one of these nubs, I think it might be alright. These are very soft and I think would provide some protection. However, the main body of the case really feels like cheap plastic. I think it might survive a fall or two, but I wouldn't recommend this case if you have children who are prone to dropping. Even though I think this is the best value overall because of what it comes with as a whole, the center section of this case just really feels like it would break easy. So unless it falls on the ends, which you don't want to drop it anyway, but I don't see this providing the greatest amount of protection. It does, however, have a cutout for a kickstand, which is a plus in my book. And the cover that was supposed to be used as a kickstand is too flimsy. It doesn't lock in place at all, so you really can't use this as a kickstand. Any kind of pressure at all pushes it over, and I feel like they really missed out on an opportunity. If they could have made it level with the kickstand that's on your Switch, since this is cut out, they could have just used this to add stability to the small kickstand that's on the Switch, but they didn't do that, and I feel like that was a really missed opportunity. If they made this just a little bit stronger and, I don't know, moved it down a little so that the door was on the same axis as the kickstand, I think this would have been a great case. Not that it's a bad case, it's just not my favorite case. But moving on. Alright, now moving on to Thursday. We looked at the Insignia Ultimate Grip, or the Insignia Performance Grip, because they don't know what to name it apparently. Other than the naming scheme, I do have some things I actually really like. For instance, I feel that this is actually the number one comfort grip out of everything we looked at this week. I was surprised since I think of Insignia as a rather cheap brand, and I'm probably not wrong because of what else I'm about to say. But as far as sheer comfort goes, this is probably, I think, the lightest case, even lighter than the Rocketech and the Skull & Co., but definitely the most comfortable. These rubberized grips with the finger with the finger grooves on them are actually super comfortable, and having them at an angle actually really helps. I'm surprised none of the other ones did that, but this is actually super comfortable, by far the most comfortable grip that I looked at. Now for the negatives, this does have some very weird design choices. For instance, there are grooves cut out so that you can remove the Joy-Cons while the Switch is in here. However, if you take the Joy-Cons off, there is nothing on here locking the Joy-Con or the Switch into place. So if you take the Joy-Cons off, the Switch literally just falls out. So I don't know why they made it like that. I mean, if they had added at least a little lip at the bottom or something to hold the Switch in place, it would have made much more sense. But there's nothing there. So you take the Joy-Cons off, Switch just falls out on its face. Very strange. Also, yeah, there's really no protection on this grip unless it falls on one of the ends. Again, just like the Rocketech grip. This provides, I believe, the absolute least amount of protection, which is funny since I think it's the most comfortable. But last other qualm I had with this is no kickstand built in and no cutout to use the kickstand at all. I'm not sure if you could use a kickstand with this, since the grips go a little bit below. It would be leaning kind of far back, but I mean, anything else would be useful. It's strange that I find this the most comfortable, but it's still least protective. And yeah, I really don't understand these cutouts for the Joy-Con. It doesn't make any sense, since the Switch will just fall out. Maybe they want you to take one side out and leave one side in to help lock the Switch in, but even that doesn't make much sense. So I don't know if it was just a poor design choice, or if initially there was a bottom and it got removed for some other reason. But yeah, that's it for this. Most comfortable, least protection. Insignia is a very strange brand. And lastly, but not least, what we looked at yesterday, the Orts Comfort Grip. Now, this thing is a clear winner when it comes to protection. This is clearly going to be the number one protective grip case out of anything else this week. This thing is really thick rubber, and this thing is not going anywhere. It also, as you can see, you can bring 5 games with you, and the back, even though it opens all the way, does make a decent enough kickstand. Not the greatest kickstand, but decent, since there is no cutout in the back. I believe that was done just so that it would have the most amount of protection possible. Things I don't like about this are you cannot remove the Joy-Cons while this is in there. I think it would have been really nice if they just put a little extra nub so that you could remove Joy-Cons, because this thing, and the brings us to the other half, this thing of my issues has a death grip on your Nintendo Switch. Once your Switch is in here, it does not want to come out. This is by far the most difficult case I've had to remove the Switch into and out of. It's not simple like any of the other ones, this thing really wants to hold on to it. Again, definitely the safest case, but the death grip really bugged me because it started actually interfering with the skin on my Nintendo Switch. But that's all 5. Customizable, best kickstand, best value, most comfortable, and most protection. If I had to choose a single grip up here, the one I would personally decide would be the Orts. I think with the added bonus of being able to hold games, using the cover as a decent kickstand, and providing the most protection out of any of the other cases, I feel like this is definitely the best buy for me personally out of all the ones I looked at. Even with the death grip, I think I like knowing that my Switch is not coming out of this thing if it fell by accident. It's going to give it the maximum amount of protection, and the Switch is not going nowhere. Even with the death grip, I still think this is the best grip I've looked at. But that's just my opinion. You're looking for something different. Maybe you want customizability. Maybe you like kickstands like me, and that's your number one feature you're looking for. But that's everything I had time to look at. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you enjoyed this, and let me know if there's something else you would like to see me do a week of. But till next time, take care, everyone.